A lot of things have been happening in the northern zone of Amazonia. We learned of the kidnapping of students at the University of Bamenda in Bambili. We also learned of the kidnapping of a reverend father up in Ngo Ketunjia in Dab. And then we've also learned of kidnappings at a hospital in Big Babanki, civilians abducted by gunmen, we are told. And then we have also learned of battles going on in the Bui, that is Kumbo. The capital of Bui is Kumbo by Bui Unity Warriors in Ndonga and Mantung. Counties, we hear of Amazonia restoration fighters coming together to form a unity, to constitute a team, not to fight in factions. That is amazing what is going on. I thought to give the first segment of this show to these developments coming up from Bamenda, to be precise. Now, in the social media reports especially, I have read reports from Mimi Mefo reports you can never trust. Now listen to the sound of my voice. Do not read anything on Mimi Mefo and take it for gospel truth. They deal with gossip. They deal with fake news. Gossip and fake news. Because I have had to confront her on a number of occasions on some of the stories that they publish on their platform, and come to find out they carry out no investigations. In fact, they pick some of the stories on different platforms on the social media and report as news. If you claim to be a news platform, a credible news platform, you do not publish anything that you cannot verify. And if you must publish it, you must then say it is allegation. Do not pin it on any group, on any individual, without the ability to confirm that this is, without the ability to confirm exactly that the person you are accusing is the one who carried out the act. And Mimi Mefo is fond of reporting stories like this. They rush. I think she's got some people writing for her on the ground, and she cannot vet those stories to make sure that they are legit, they are legitimate, they are true. And so do not take anything from that platform, anything news story, seriously. They don't vet their stories. They just want to write for the clicks. And so if you have read what they have on their platform, they say Amazonia restoration fighters abduct the Reverend Father, abduct students in the, I think, other cast or the University of Bamenda in the Bambili, and up to today, the students have not been found. Yes, as of this moment, yes, it is true, people were abducted in Bambili. A Reverend Father was abducted and as of now, we don't know where they are. We don't know who is holding them and for what reason. We also know a young lady with dozens of stitch marks on her body was abducted from the hospital bed in the Big Babanki, I believe. And up to now, nobody knows where she is. You see the pictures of this lady, you will cry, you will weep for her to be abducted under that condition from a hospital bed, taken to an unknown destination where nobody attends to her medically. It is pathetic. Now, I also read a lengthy report, which I want to consider it an overzealous report from the Archbishop of Bamenda, Andrew Nkia, reporting about the abduction of the Reverend Father somewhere in Ndop, and attributing it to separatist gunmen. Again, these are reports. They cannot prove that the Reverend Father and others were abducted by Ambazonian, because when they say separatist government, they're essentially saying that Ambazonia Restoration Forces abducted these people. I'd like everybody out there to know that abduction of anybody, especially the civilian population of Ambazonia, has never been, should never be, will never be the goal or the mission of Ambazonia Restoration Fighters. And should any Ambazonia Restoration Fighters, ladies and gentlemen, be caught kidnapping people, that person should receive the maximum punishment. That person should receive the maximum punishment, and that person should not be considered an Ambazonian fighter. Ambazonian fighters are not fighting the civilians. They are not fighting civilian population. They are fighting against an occupying army from La République du Cameroon. That is their mission. And we can't say this enough. We can't say this enough. The war, the 9 years old war in Ambazonia is not against civilians. It's not against your own people. It is against the occupier. It is against our colonizers. It is against those who consider us second-class citizens. That is who the war in Ambazonia is against. And also take note, Ambazonia did not declare the war. La République du Cameroon, the colonizer, declared the war. But I realize that so many people out there, whether deliberately or ignorantly or naive or out of naivety, always want to attribute these abductions and kidnappings to the Ambazonia Restoration Fighters. Again, don't get me wrong, not at all. Do not get me wrong. There are some rogue Ambazonian Restoration Fighters who have abducted people, taken ransom from them, and we completely condemn it, and we will not want to see them calling themselves Ambazonian fighters. Those ones, we don't consider them, we don't count them for Ambazonian fighters, because that is not the mission of Ambazonian fighters. The mission of Ambazonian fighters is to face the enemy, represented by the uniform gun-toting French Cameroon army in the territory. That is who their target is. So it is very important we know that French Cameroon, we have known this for a long time. French Cameroon under Atanga, the Territorial Administration Minister Paul Atanga, we know that they pay the DDRO guys, put guns in their hands to go about the towns and cities in Ambazonia, abducting people, and so that, dressing like Ambazonian fighters, abducting people, taking them away, taking ransoms from them, so that the people should say, oh, see what Amber, as they call it, is doing. It is not always the case. And you guys know how many times I have had to come on this television set over the years to condemn any form of torture, kidnapping, and ransom taking in Ambazonia. That is not our fight. Our people are not our enemies. Not even French Cameroon citizens are our enemies. It is the army represented by those wearing the uniforms and carrying guns from La République du Cameroon. Those are the people we are defending ourselves against. So the idea that anybody will kidnap anybody, we have condemned it here year after year. But we have to realize La République du Cameroon has been doing everything it can to get Ambazonian civilians to, walk away from the war, to surrender, to agitate, in fact, in some cases, they went to, I think it was in Oku some time ago, I think 2 years ago, paid civilians to go to the streets and demonstrate against Amba. They gave money. Let me show you something what we are talking about here. Look at Paul Atanga here, ladies and gentlemen. so that if you are an observer out there, understand what we are talking about. We are not just making things up. The video I am about to show you is a video of a state minister, the Minister of Territorial Administration, standing there on the roadside and asking his people distribute 3,000 francs. That is about I think let's just say $3. That's about $3, US $3. He is standing there. He pulls money out of his pocket, give it to his associates. He is standing there observing his associates are giving money to bike riders. And don't be surprised. These bike riders may be military men disguised. Because we have seen situations where the military in Cameroon disguised as Okada riders, bike riders, go and hide their pistols within their jackets, go out and cause mayhem, shoot people randomly. Again, hired and supervised by the Minister of Territorial Administration. Think about it. Think about it. How can a minister of territorial administration of a country stand by the gas station, by the roadside, and is dishing out $3 to bike riders? Where have you seen that, ladies and gentlemen? Where have you seen that? But it happens in Cameroon, and I'm about to show you what you are going to be seeing here took place. I think there was either in Bafoussam or Mbunda over the week. Look at that. Now you can see that's Paul Atanga on your right hand side. See, look at his men giving money, paying money for gas or petrol to the Okada rider. Look at Atanga. Look at him right there on your right. Okay? Let's hear what they are saying there. Look at the money. See the money. Now the next one comes. And the minister is standing right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's Paul Atanga there. You come, an Okada comes, they fill your tank, they pay for it, and they give you money. I think that money that probably is about 5,000 note, I believe. Look at Atanga, the Minister of Territorial Administration. I think behind him is a governor of that of Western Region, either the governor or the senior divisional officer. Let's hear what they are saying. They are saying in that audio. All right, all right, all right. Again, ladies and gentlemen, the the images you're watching on your screen, that was Paul Atanga. Paul Atanga, Cameroon Minister of Territorial Administration, standing there at a gas station in the western province, or they call it western region of La République du Cameroon. He puts out money into the hands of his boys, and look at the way they addressed. Look at the guy in orange, the guy who was carrying the money. Of course, that's not a government official. He said, talk. He said, talk. And then the Okada guys come, they put their gas or their petrol, they feed the tank, and then he doesn't just leave a 5,000 grid note, or whether is it a 10,000. That is about $10 if it is 10,000. No, it's not. If it's about $15 or so is handed to, as you can see, right there, ladies and gentlemen. But the point I am trying to make here, again, this happened just at the weekend. But the point I am trying to make here is, in which country do you find a government minister, a state minister, discern to this level to stand in a gas station to share $10 or so for bike riders to put gas in their tank? Where have you seen that? This is the word. That's the minister. The guy in the middle of the two uniform guys. That is Paul Atanga, the territorial minister, the home affairs minister, equivalent to the home secretary in England, standing by the roadside. You can tell the desperation of that regime in La République du Cameroon. But I am saying this to say that when we tell you that this guy, Paul Atanga, recruits local fighters, put guns in their hands to attack, to kill civilians, believe what we are saying to you. It is not made up. It is no fabrication. That guy does that. And when people are abducted in schools, people are abducted in churches in Amazonia, hold this guy responsible. Hold him, Paul Atanga, hold him responsible. We have seen them remove prisoners, put guns in their hands. The prisoners are the DDR. You all know that. They take them out, put guns in their hands to go out and fight, kill civilians in the name of Ambazonians. We have seen this a lot in Libya, where the colonial divisional officer receives instructions from this territorial administration, who has a supervisory authority over the divisional officers. They put guns into their hands in the BLM and they go out, harass the local population, take millions, steal millions out of them after kidnapping them. We have seen this a lot. In fact, only I think a month ago, one person was made to cough out over 30 million CFA francs, ladies and gentlemen, in the BLM, to boys sponsored by Paul Atanga. So let's be careful when every time, because I see the Archbishop in Bamenda, Archbishop in Kiev, wanting the public to believe that the Reverend Father abduction in Ndop was done by separatist fighters. Listen, if I find out that the abduction of the Reverend Father was carried out by separatist fighters and Amazonia fighters, I will be the first one to rebuke them and to ask them to release that man immediately if I find out that that was exactly the case. The same thing with those students. There is no reason why students should be abducted. We have ruled against that. Students should not be abducted. Civilians should not be abducted, because they already feel the pain of this 9-year-old conflict. And but we know, again, Cameroon does is we can control what Amazonia fighters do We cannot control what Paul Atanga and your boys, the government boys, they do. All right. But I am being joined, ladies and gentlemen, by Shay Tata. I don't want to disclose the location he is joining me from. He is going to give us a little more update of what is happening. What is happening in the Bui County, in Donga Mantung, and then these abductions in Ndop, the Reverend Father's abduction in Ndop. I think that was November 15, I'm told. And then restoration fighters in the, I think you will give me the update on that. In the Donga Mantung, I believe, they went up there, tried to do exactly what I have been trying to explain here. And we are told that some ADF fighters abducted, kidnapped civilians. And the good ones, the good fighters, in the restoration fighters, I believe the Unity Warriors, they went up to face the ADF fighters and to demand that the civilians they abducted be released. So we are going to hear this story from Shay Tata, who is joining me. Shay, it's a pleasure to have you, sir. Can you hear me? If you can bend your camera slightly, please.
This way?
All right.
Is it okay?
Wonderful, wonderful. It's great to have you back again. Again, we have heard a lot. We read the story from Mimi Mefo. We read it from Archbishop Nkabe in the statement you put out. They all pointing fingers at Ambazonia restoration fighters. But before I bring you back, let me play this clip that is coming from Ambazonia fighters quarreling, the ADF fighters who kidnap civilians. Am I right? That ADF fighters kidnap civilians? Please put it right for me.
It wasn't actually a kidnap. It was a problem that I think goes back as 3 months ago. And what actually happened is that there is a village in a neighbor village in Jakiri known as Nkar. That's the village of General Yenwo Francis.
Yeah.
Where military has been kept there for as long as God knows when. And these military, they have been causing all sorts of atrocities and barbarism. What have they not done to our people? So it happened that there was a football tournament taking place in that village, organized by the civilians. And the military were after someone whom they claim was a number fighter. So they came and took a boy out of the pitch, the football pitch, and executed. So when they executed this civilian, they thought they were killing a number fighter, but it was a civilian who came to participate in the tournament. So what happens is that the warriors in that area, they were very furious because each time a number fighter makes a mistake, civilians will either reprimand or they will march to that barrack for retaliation or anything. So when this incident happened, which was one amongst many others, civilians did not react. So the fighters were very furious. And what they did was that the ADF leader of that area, he decided to shut down activities in that village until the villagers reacted. So the villagers did not act. Yeah,
what reaction were they expecting from the civilians?
They wanted the civilians to do the same, like when they make a mistake, civilians come over to them. They wanted to go and they wanted to come out and demand for justice from La Republique terrorists. So they didn't do that. And so they shut down they asked that all the activities be shut down. So some of the shops didn't function for quite some time. But one of the colonel, the warriors colonel that controls that area, so that it was rather weighing on the people than on the military that we wanted to discipline. So
Right.
he chose to ask the civilians to go around with their activities. But the ADF leader who shut down the place had his own deadline that he had given, and that deadline was not met yet. So there was this misunderstanding. So when the people opened their shops yesterday evening, the fighters of the ADF were told about it. So they came out. I don't know if the general was aware of their outing, but I'm told that they had a confrontation with the civilians who were challenging them. So there was a quarrel among them, and then some of them who had, I'm told, they shot stones at the fighters, and something happened. There was a fight among them. So they came, they called for backup, and they came and took some of these civilians who had, how do I call it, who agitated. So
Yeah.
so they took them to their barrack in a village not far from there called Wakang. So the population this morning became furious. So they went to the palace. The military came to the palace this morning to take advantage of the situation and wanted to talk to the phone, but they were told that it was too early for them to see the phone, and that the phone does not get out this early. So they left, and then I don't know if it's the military that instigated the population or the population did it on their own. So the population decided to march to the ADF barrack to demand, I'm saying demand, for the release of these civilians. I'm saying so because the information people have out there is that they went to chase away amber, that they don't want amber in their land, which is not true. And we can see from the interactions and the meetings they held. So when the population marched, the general was informed that that was what was happening. And because he wasn't afraid, and he knew that what he did it for the good of the civilians, he decided to come out to see them, to meet them. He even brought some of the elders of his own village, and they met at the village square. So they had interactions. He listened to them, and they explained why they came, and then he told them that they also wanted this market to be open. He told them that he had scheduled the market to be open on Saturday, and that since the population was peaceful and had listened to them, he told them that he was so happy that they marched to him, but that this is what he had wanted, that if the military had abducted this child before killing, if they had done the same march to the military barrack to seek for his release, the market would not have been closed in the first place. And this was just the grudge he had against the civilians, that each time there is a mistake, there is an error on the part of the fighters, instead of coming for dialogue, they march only in retaliation. So he stood, he listened to them, he shared their views, explained the things to them, and then told them that even before they were coming, which is true, he had already, the people that they were picked, he had already interrogated half of them, and they were already on their way.
All
While
right,
the interrogations were continuing with the rest.
Shall you hold on there for a second? Let's play this video coming from the general, please.
Yes.
They call the commander on palace, say me I come arrange all things ready, but they are arranged. Next time I'll come in a bad person. But no mind. All things we are doing for this one, I go this year. And once again, I'll appreciate when I don't come for here. Periphery where they shoot them for there. I'm a periphery. And I know Greece, we could continue for more football tournament. Now say me the move any person from inside when I shoot them. That person no get 2 blood. If they move my brother, shoot them. We'll get 3 brothers. Today, I leave them. Tomorrow, the moment another one shoot them. That means I just don't quite say, they finish all my brother. No. That thing where military do me fine. No. Okay, the thing where we vex me and I say, they don't carry picking from that place. Oh, when I know that picking. When I know say, you know ever who gone. Now picking where they run now, Okada. But it come out so good for military the hand. When I know even follow. The football executive no follow. Forgot to say the picking day so you know the who know nothing. And again, I don't believe say if military see me so I no get gone. They go who me again they beat them. I know my own say they go take me go put down prison. Or they go take me go put down DDR. They take picking like that and go kill them again. Then now who be safe? So one incident they don't happen with car. We don't go stand for car. Well, we okay, I mean them stand. We don't know say they stand so where they not say military there for us, but they're not here with. Time where military don't wake up now the open fire before they okay, I mean them shift. They should one of my picking for there the collect stick. That time I be longer. The people from car. If they become for beg me, say I open the place. I talk say problem not there. I could open the place. But me they contribute money so give me I buy the gun with them. I be last take the money from Muna. No. I be last take the money from Muna. No. Some people then become cry. Say money no day. I leave them. I be leave them. Then this one again come happen. If I just she don't quiet down and say me are the rule now, which kind of people? Me are the rule now, which kind of people? Right here now, that petty play where they shoot and body so. People on bar don't lose over. No be soldier. When I overcry some man for the talk saying some soldier. No be some soldier. You never ever who gone for your hand. Even I say true with the stand up for ambulance. You never ever talk this thing. But they take you just because he favor person. Why they not call the person where be sure the man? Say true na this man. The one realize we don't kill him. We don't kill the threat for nothing. Then when I the signal they come so, I could never hear anything from when I'm up, whether I wait till it happen. When I want to say more do for things then all these things I don't explain them. Because so I get big problem with some of my colleagues because of car. Other one where they come disturb for palace so now me I stop them.
All right. The rest of that video is in the dialect. So I guess that was the general explaining to the people, having dialogue with the people to explain exactly what was going on.
I think this is explicit enough. We don't. More was in the dialect, like as you said, and people were there to air their differences, and they had a very cozy conversation. So when we see people write certain things when the evidences are there for all of us to listen and hear, I begin to wonder how professional we want our fighters again to work. This to me is a climax of professionalism, going out to dialogue with your people, not being scared of them, but respecting them, listening to them. And the good thing is that he even told them that he was thinking that he was going to take 2 days listening to the other civilians that were arrested, but because of the way things have been handled, he is going to release all of them to take them with it so that they can go together with them. And he did that immediately, and also told them that instead of opening the car market on Saturday, he will automatically do that on Wednesday, which is just in 2 days. So basically this is what happened. And I think when fighters like this do a good job trying to protect the civilian, there's a statement he even made. He said if this boy killed was a military, he will not come, he will not ask any question. I mean, was a fighter, sorry. He would not even ask them for a question. But a civilian being killed and nothing happens. But when a fighter makes a mistake, which we all make mistakes, that is when civilians will rise up against it. One thing we need to learn here, it's about the freedom we have, the right to demonstration. And that is what the fighters have always given to the civilians. They have a right to protest. Try this in La Republique, and you saw what happened when they just came out peacefully to protest. It would have been a different case if they were marching towards the military. So I hope that our people should not take the leniency and the goodness of our fighters, always there to listen them, as an abuse. This is all I can say for today. And I really congratulate General Kapo for this professionalism.
Is General Kapo not of the ADF?
Yes, that's the ADF. He is part, the ADF is a member of the Unity Warriors platform.
Okay,
And
so
like
that
I
was
said,
General Kapo
like I
trying
said,
to bring things
ADF
to order.
Yes, that was General Kapo trying to bring things together. You could hear him even questioning why civilians remain mute. He could enumerate a series of things that he has done for the civilians, and these are sin. You know, the problem we have here is that, like he rightly said, Nkar is infiltrated by traitors. There are a good number of traitors due to the fact that this general comes from that village. So you will know the kind of network he has there. But he has used his professionalism in handling the civilians. And the civilians in Nkar also, they need to sit up and understand that we are at war and stop betraying our people. He is still asking even for the people that pointed at that young civilian, that innocent civilian who was killed. And nobody is doing that because they want to hide their atrocities.
Now, you have just confirmed to me that the Reverend Father reported by Archbishop Nke in Bamenda was abducted by Ambazonian fighters. Is that what? Is that?
And that is the problem, where the fighters get angry, and sometimes when they have someone in their custody that they are interrogating, sometimes when we use these words, abduction, kidnapping, it pains them a lot because they've been asking the same thing. Why is it that when military takes our civilians away, whisk our civilians away, nobody talks about adoption? They also have a right, when they have a suspect, to question them and talk to them. And this is basically what happened. The problem we have in Ambazonia is the fact that our people keep coming to Ambazonia with the military. And that is why they have said any activity, anybody, even including a CPD, a man, can come to Ambazonia, visit his family, and go back freely, as long as you do not provoke a situation. But people organize events and take the military there. And that is why the Ambazonian fighters are saying that any place where they see the military, they consider that as a military barrack. The reason why they had these two priests, let people understand this. What I got was that two priests were the ones that were picked up because they were suspected to be with the military. And some people say that the military came to prepare the way because the apostolic nuncio, after visiting Bamenda, was going to come to Ngogitundia. So people are beginning to wonder why someone will be coming to Ambazonia and will be seeking security, but from the military, the people that are killing the same population you are coming to talk to. So when these priests were taken for questioning, 4 other priests, we are told, went there. And they too, when they were talking to the warriors, they realized that they had almost a similar story. So these boys, these warriors, started interrogating them. And when they found out that some of them actually were not aware of what happened, they were released on Thursday.
Was the Reverend
and then
Father
one
released?
priest was kept. Sorry?
Was the priest released?
The 5 priests were released on Thursday.
Or all of them have been released?
No, just one is still kept in custody.
And what is the reason for holding one?
Thank you. I just got a communique, which I will send to you from the APLC, stating that this priest would have been released, I think, yesterday. What has even kept him there is the provocation from the church.
Okay.
Because they do not let them do their job. in a war zone, they have a situation, and they are saying
But
that it was
then,
just
but
a
then
matter
the argument
of
will be, but then the argument will be, how would they hold him on the pretext of the argument from the church when they have when they have released 4 orders in spite of the church?
That's what I'm saying. That they were interrogating them, and once they are done, because everyone is a suspect. When you are suspect of something, that's what we have. They interrogate you, and if you are found not guilty, you are let go. So this when they had these priests and they were releasing them, they started having threats. And they said they were not going to work under duress, and no one was going to threaten them. So they wanted to say, let them do what it will happen. Then one of the reasons that now motivated them to delay the release of the priest was that they suddenly saw that everyone had interest in the pickup of those priests. And that is why they were saying, okay, it looks like if we delay the delay of this priest, maybe that international community will start talking, because nobody seems to talk about our case. When the military kills our civilian, nobody talks about it. Remember, Comrade Chris, on the 11th of May, if I am not forgetting, 2022, close to 40 bike riders from Oku were abducted. Until date today, they have never been seen or heard of. And nobody is talking about it.
How many?
And today, close to 40.
40 by, when was that again?
11th of May, if my memory doesn't fail me. It was all over on the activists, people spoke about it, but nobody intervened.
So up to today, none of them has been found.
Nothing is heard about them.
Okay.
So now when they saw this window, where suddenly they thought, okay, the nuncio is around, probably he might take this out, let them understand what they are going through, the church started sending threats to them. And that is from the threats. I can tell you that I heard a lot of audios where the fighters suddenly changed from what they wanted to do into seeing what those threats will mean and what they can do with those threats. This is just the simple reason why the father is still in custody.
So the father will be released.
And they have said they are not going to release him because he has given them a deadline. If the Archbishop wants to close the church, let him go ahead. How many civilians have been killed that the church has not been closed? And that's why they think that there is a selective justice, or should I call it injustices? Because the church, according to them, even though, that's why when we had the program we had last time, when Mr. Mote was talking about the church and Father Ladu, he gave a very handling this, they will do their job well and then release this priest, just because he understood the procedure. But the case here is not the same. You read the letter from the Bishop of Kumbu. It was talking about injustices. And then that of the Archbishop came and provoked everything with threats. And then, you don't threaten these people with guns.
Yeah, of course. They are men of the gun. Hang in there. Let me play this footage here, and you tell us what is going on there. Take a look at that. Take a look at that.
Yes. Around 3 this. And around 3. And around 3. Continue the video. Continue. Yes. Continue the video. Turn back. Okay. Now, that. Chef, no good. I'm here to ask the chef. I'm okay. Oh, no, you are
Kapiko, group za mahua.
All right. Tell us, what event is this and what is going on there and when was that?
This video is actually, I think, about 200 meters away from our family house.
Oh, wow.
That's in the heart of Kumbu.
And these are
town.
Bui Unity Warriors.
Yes,
Okay.
those are the Bui Unity Warriors. The Unity Warriors. That's Bui and Donga Mantum. It was
Okay.
a combined mission. Yeah, it was a combined mission. We had 2 barracks from Donga Mantum and 1 from Bui, and they came. Before the elections, we had a military base that was implanted in the heart of Kumbu, in the filling station known as Total or Texaco, around that area. And people thought that they were only coming for the elections, but the elections were over. And you know, when military comes without outstation allowance, without being paid, what they tend to do to the civilians.
Yeah.
It even became so difficult because it's about 50 to 60 meters to the cathedral, the Kumbu Cathedral, where they are based. So they even disturb Christians from going to church to pray because of the atrocities they caused. So it was on this day, I think it was last week Tuesday precisely. It was last week Tuesday in the morning where Kumbu was shot down with this battle. The warriors said that the military had overstayed their welcome and they came purposely to eject them from that area. I can't remember the number of casualties, but it was a fierce battle. As I said, Kumbu was shot down because of the gunshots. This even led to further gunshots where all the military barracks in Bui were shooting randomly for fear of what was going to happen. So this was a fierce battle on Tuesday. I remember precisely when it happened last week, about 6 days ago. Yeah.
All right, all right. Shay, we still have a lot to talk about, but I will ask you to please stay put if you can. Let me delve into my talking point for tonight, which has to do with the announcement from the Gambia. The announcement from the Gambia government.
1 second, please.
Okay.
1 second. I was also going to, before we come back, to tell you that there is another village in Bui called Bamti Village. It's in None LGA, where the military invaded since 4 a.m. yesterday, and they are still there. Civilians have been killed. I'm also told that maybe we have lost 2 of our fighters because of the fierce battle for these 2 days, but about 250 civilians have fled the village and seeking refuge in the neighboring village. It's terrible. It's a nightmare.
250 civilians.
Yes, civilians, as I'm telling you. It's a nightmare there since yesterday. The people are in pain, and we need people to come to the rescue of Bui to chase this. Our people are living in serious barbarism.